Parent Entrepreneur Power. Conversation number 209.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? Entrepreneur Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Kathryn Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Hey there, Power Parents. You know who I am, Mary Kathryn Johnson, and welcome to another episode of Parent Entrepreneur Power. Now, the last couple of weeks, I've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I've had a lot going on in life and in business, and I just could not keep up with it. I gotta be honest. It's not my podcast editor's fault. Evan, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much. It's not his fault. It's my fault, and I apologize. I just do. And I don't have any excuses. I don't have anything more to say except I am back. Here I am. Okay. So I wanted to talk today, and this is another solo episode, and I hope you will join me because this has been an incredible realization for me. And I had a very, very exciting encounter at Social Media Marketing World. If you've never gone to such an event, I highly recommend you do. But this realization is going to help you do these conferences, attend these conferences in a way that will bring you results for your personal growth and your business growth beyond anything you could imagine. Okay? So bear with me, sit back, relax. If you're driving, just let those shoulders down. Don't worry about the cars around you and somebody cutting you off. Stay calm, stay relaxed, and join me on this adventure into your intentions, your value, and your conversations. All right, here we go. Okay. So I mentioned I went to Social Media Marketing World, and I am not a conference kind of gal. I'm not. I've only attended one conference, and that was Josh Shipp. He has an amazing youth speakers conference, and I didn't go to that because obviously, as you know, if you've listened to any of these shows, I am not a speaker to youth. I am not a speaker to young people. That's not my business. That's not what I do. So I didn't go to that conference to learn how to speak to young people. I went to that conference because two people I had networked with over the past several years, probably at least 5 years. One of them has actually been about 8 years. The other one probably about 4 or 5 years. Two people that I love dearly and I follow and I just had to meet were at that conference. And that conference was being held in my backyard. Well, in my backyard in relative terms to the world. Okay, let's say that. Within about a 2.5 hour drive of my house, which, you know, of course, we network with and we talk to people all over the world, right? So if two speakers that I love and I follow were coming to within 2.5 hours of my house to a one-day conference, whether or not it related to me at all, I'm going. It was only like $250 and it was an amazing opportunity. And I've got to tell you about that right before I tell you about Social Media Marketing World. Okay, so this conference was, I believe, in 2015, summer of 2015, I believe. And the two people that were at that conference were Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income and John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire. And both of those gentlemen I have followed and I have communicated with. I've emailed back and forth. I was very, very honored to be able to write a blog post for Entrepreneur on Fire. Kate was wonderful, but Kate wasn't going to be at this event, at Josh Shipp's event, but both Pat and JLD were speaking. And so I just had to go. To network with them, to just, if nothing else, meet them in person. But I was open to whatever might happen and whomever I might meet. And lo and behold, I get there in breaks and in between. It was a very intimate conference, especially when you look at Social Media Marketing World with almost 5,000 people. This was only, maybe a couple of hundred at the most, maybe 150 people, if I remember correctly. And so it was much more intimate. I got to meet some other incredible people as well, Dr. Ed Osborne and also Dr. Karen Osborne of Women Wanting More. I got to actually meet them as well. And I didn't have any idea. I did did not know that they were going to be at this conference. So that was an amazing opportunity. Then as I was speaking, and I was speaking with Josh Shipp, I had interviewed him on this very show. I'm sure if you go back, and I'll put in the show notes which episodes those are. I don't have them off the top of my head, but it was before 100 for all three of those gentlemen. JLD, I think, was number 33. And of course, Pat Flynn, he's number 2. Number 1 was, or actually he might be number 1, but I think the episode title is 002. But I don't remember exactly which one Josh Shipp was. Maybe the 70s, I think. So I had met him online. I had met him face-to-face via Skype. And so I was really excited to join his conference and got to chat with him for a little bit. And as we were talking about parenting and entrepreneurship, he said, hey, you know what? There's somebody here that you might want to have on your podcast. And I said, oh, that'd be fantastic. How wonderful. Who is it? He says, let me go get him. And he brings over Mr. Hal Elrod. Hal Elrod. You know who that is, right? Miracle Morning. He just had another miracle happen in his life when his cancer came back and he is completely cured. And it's just incredible, this gentleman. And so Josh introduced me to Hal, and Hal gave me his cell phone number and said, text me your calendar link and I'll sign up and I'll come on your show. And he did. And I'll also have the episode number for Hal's episode in the show notes of this podcast episode as well. So that alone, in addition to being able to meet Pat and meet JLD and meet Josh Shipp and meet the Osbournes, that was so well worth the $250 cost of this amazing conference, even though it had nothing to do with what I need to do with my business. And when I sat with an open mind and the intention to just be and accept whatever comes my way, I know I'm sounding woo-woo, but bear with me here, people, because I'm telling you this is going to matter in your business. When I had that intention to be open, I learned a ton, in addition to meeting incredible people. Okay, so that's the only other conference I have attended in the marketing world, in the online world, since I started my first business in 2003. That's a big deal. Since 2003 to 2014, 11 years it took me to go to a conference. And now, 2018, I decided to go ahead and attend Social Media Marketing World 18. So I got to tell you that the decision to attend Social Media Marketing World wasn't based specifically on anything I wanted to learn or any one specific person I wanted to meet or connect with. It was really because I have been in this world of online business since 2003, and I have built relationships with many people during that time that I've never met. I've never, ever met personally. And these are some clients that I've networked with, some people that I've communicated with on Skype and on Zoom for years and years, and I've never met them in person. And Social Media Marketing World was an opportunity for me to meet many of those people, including some clients. So y'all know I have a company called Messenger Funnels, and I create messenger funnels. Exactly. I create messenger marketing campaigns for my clients. And many of my clients were at Social Media Marketing World as speakers, and most of them as speakers, some of them as attendees. And so it was a perfect opportunity to be able to go and actually see them eyeball to eyeball, face to face, have a cup of coffee, have a chat, see them at dinner, see them at parties, see them speak and support them and cheer them on. It was just an opportunity that I really wouldn't have anywhere else. You can chat with people, and I do every single day on Skype and on Zoom, and that's wonderful. It's an amazing opportunity to connect across the world. But seeing someone face to face really makes a difference. And so to do that with many of those clients and with people that I've just chatted with, even if they're not clients, was really an invaluable experience for me. And I learned 3 things, and I want to share the 3 things that I learned, okay? The first thing that I learned in attending Social Media Marketing World 18 is that intentions matter. They matter very greatly. So what I mean by intentions matter is that when I went to this conference, I went with a specific mindset. I specifically wanted to be open and chat and connect with everyone who wanted to connect and chat with me, regardless of whether or not they could benefit my business or become a client. Okay? Every single conversation I approached with that intent. And it was such a boost to my energy that I was on a complete high throughout a really exhausting 3-day schedule. I mean, this is pretty exhausting. You're going from early in the morning. If you got the all access, you got breakfast, and that was from 7 to 8 a.m. And then you didn't end until easily 11 o'clock that night because they had events in the evening and parties and things in the evening. So it was a pretty exhausting event. But my intention was to be totally open and chat with anyone who really was interested in what I had to say and of whom I was interested. Or in whom I was interested. And really, social media marketing world made it easy to do that because, as you know, I'm in Messenger and chat bots and all that stuff. And I got to tell you, Michael Stelzner started the conference with his keynote, and probably at least half of his keynote was devoted specifically to Messenger and chat bots. So if you're not in it yet, I really highly recommend you jump in on this rocket ship. But you've heard me say that before, so I won't belabor that. But so the conference and the communication and basically a lot of the chats that were going on were about Facebook Messenger. And so with Social Media Marketing World, they have a networking plaza, they call it. And there are tables while you eat lunch. You can bring your box lunch, and it was a pretty good box lunch actually, to the table with the subject that interests you most. And they've got over 100 different tables. And 3 of those tables were dedicated to messenger marketing and chatbots. So where do you think I went? Of course, if I wasn't in a session and I wasn't listening to a talk, I was at one of those tables, just chatting with whoever wanted to chat and talking to them about it. And many of them, this was the first they'd heard about it, or they might have been hearing rumblings about this messenger thing, but they really didn't know what it was about. So it was really exciting to be able to share a lot of this and how Messenger works and what you can do with Messenger with people who were really excited about it and open to the possibilities for their businesses. And no, I didn't go there with the intention to get more clients. I honestly didn't. I'm doing fine, believe me. I went there with the intention to connect with people and educate people if I could, because I didn't know that Michael Stelzner was going to talk about chatbots. So I had no clue that this was going to be a huge topic during this almost 5,000 person attendees conference. So it just so happened that, again, I was in the right place at the right time. And no, I didn't sign any new clients. There are many people who are interested in what I have to do and what I have to say, but they are in no way, have in no way actually signed up for my services or even have any intention to do that. I really intended to just have conversations with people and connect with them. And that's exactly what I did. If they turn into clients, if they fit my business model, then that's fantastic. If they don't, I can send them to other people. I know lots of amazing people who teach about chatbots and create messenger marketing strategies. And so if I can't help someone, I have no problem recommending another person who might be able to help them. Okay, so that was my intention. Number 1, intentions matter. So if you're considering going and attending a conference, what is your intention? Is your intention just to go sell and get new clients? Is your intention just to go meet people and get one of these gurus on your podcast or to chat with them and pick their brain? Or is your intention just to chat with people, interesting people, and spread your knowledge and absorb theirs? Think about what your intention is, because it matters and it will impact what you get out of that conference. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, true value that you provide and that is provided to you. True value is always appreciated. So with my intention, I already mentioned, now we go to some of these conversations and then really the true value that we exchanged. So really the most satisfying of the conversations that I had were the ones where I provided tons of value. And it was so easy for me to do because most of these people had not heard of messenger marketing, or if they did, were just knew a little bit about it and only got whatever the conference that particular session offered. And 45 minutes, there is no way you can answer all the questions that someone might have. So the most satisfying of those conversations that I had, especially at those tables during lunch and in the breaks, was when I could actually help that person level up huge. I mean, it was amazing how quickly, and you could see it. It was so amazing because it was the same look that was on my face when I first encountered Messenger and this marketing powerhouse that we have in front of us now. It was the same look. It was this awe-inspiring, are you kidding me look, once people started to realize what they could do with this. And because I was able to provide that kind of value that basically opened up the Pandora's box, it opened up the rocket ship for so many of these people, and it allowed them the opportunity to see what's possible in this new market, this new vertical, this new marketing channel. And when I did that, it provided me with it provided me with a much greater reward than any amount of clients that I could have signed at this event. It truly, truly did, because it kept me going, just like that high that I mentioned in the intentions, being able to provide that kind of value and connect with people. And then as I was walking down the halls in the next day or that afternoon, and have people say, hi, hey, Mary, how you doing? And recognize them and chat with them again, and have them introduce me to other people that they were connecting with, and to be able to provide that value again, it just fueled me. People, it fueled me. And Power Parents, that's the power. I don't have to plug into an outlet. I just have to plug into this energy and be able to provide this kind of value. And I am set. My energy is high. And I just cannot stop. I had no problem going from, getting up at say 5:30 in the morning to get ready to go to breakfast and not going to bed till 11:30 midnight and getting up the next morning again at 5:30. I had no problem doing that because it was that energizing for me. And remember, I'm no spring chicken, right? I mean, the nickname I'm getting, I don't know if I've shared this with you before, but the nickname I'm getting in this community is Chatbot Mom. And so you can tell I'm quite a bit older than most of these people. And so I could easily be most of their mothers, some of them their grandmother. I don't know. But that's my nickname now, Chatbot Mom. And of course, what do you think? I, of course, secured that domain, right? I mean, how could I not? Once they started calling me their chatbot mom, I got to get chatbotmom.com, right? I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. It's a rhyme. I could make it into a rap, definitely, or I'll have my 16 or 19-year-old do that for me. All right. So number 1, intentions matter. Number 2, true value is always appreciated. Always. And the people who don't appreciate it, you just don't give any more value. You just walk away and find someone else. But I did not find anyone who did not appreciate the value. And they, again, in turn, I appreciated their value that they gave me, because it wasn't just me talking. All right. It wasn't just me giving value. They gave me value as well. Because one of the most exciting parts of this is that I get to dive into other people's businesses and see how they do things and see how Messenger might be able to help them. And that, my friends, Power Parents, that is so flippin' exciting, because even though we think we're very different, we think we all have unique things and nobody else thinks like we do. And we all are scared of we wake up or we wake up at night and we can't sleep because we're worried about this, that, or the other thing, or we're worried about if they like us or not. I'm here to tell you, Power Parents, every human being on the planet has the exact same fears that you do. And they have the exact same desires as you do. So diving into people's businesses like this and helping them figure out how Messenger can work is so flippin' exciting. Got to tell you. All right. Number 1, intentions. Number 2, value. Number 3, I have to share and be totally transparent with you. It wasn't all, wine and roses. There was definitely wine at night. I don't drink, or I don't drink that much. Let's just say that. 1 glass of wine is good for me, but it was not all wine and roses. It was definitely, there were a couple of times that I have to share with you that were quite awkward for me. So there were a couple of conversations that ended that way. They ended quite awkwardly. And the reason, in retrospect, in retrospect, as I look back on those particular conversations or those particular interactions, really, I realized that I had a very different intention for those particular conversations. I was really seeking something from that person. And my purpose in talking to them was really for my benefit only. And in those conversations, I stumbled. I kind of minced my words. I wasn't myself. I just was not myself. I was not genuine. I was not open. I was not having fun. And I got to tell you, those few times, I remember them and I regret them. And I wish I could go back and change them, but I can't. So all I can do is look forward and learn. So there were a couple of them. I got to meet a couple of people, high-level people. And, I was, one of the wonderful little fangirls, and just all I wanted to do was, get a picture. I'm not a selfie kind of gal, so I didn't do a lot of selfies, but I just wanted to get into their world and talk to them and see who they were and how they are. And one of those conversations, I didn't feel, I'll be honest. I did feel awkward when I chatted with Pat Flynn. I just did. I got a chance to chat with him for a couple of minutes after his ending keynote. And he was so gracious and so kind, and reminded me of a conversation that we had a couple of years ago where I helped him through a particular difficulty that he was having. I was so blessed to be able to have an actual private Skype conversation with him. And he remembered me, and reminded me of it. And I just, again, said I was so blessed that he would remember that. And then later that night, after the end of the conference, which was Friday, the 2nd, I believe, of March, later that evening, I was again blessed to be able to attend Social Smash, which is kind of an ending to social media marketing world, and a lot of podcasters to get together. John Lee Dumas was there, Michael O'Neill, again, Pat Flynn, Jason Van Orden, a lot of people that I know and follow, and then a lot of people that I had kind of heard of but never really connected with. So I was just so honored to be able to attend. And I was able to meet Pat there as well. And he came in and he was on the show, that Social Smash, and got interviewed. And I was just watching aside and just got to chat with him for a couple of minutes. And I just got so stinking tongue-tied. I just, it was very uncomfortable for me. And I think afterwards I specifically had a purpose, and I wanted to be in his world. I wanted him to like me. I wanted, all those silly things that we fear, I had. And because my intention was not, as I mentioned in the beginning, it showed. It absolutely showed, at least to me. I don't know if it showed to him, but to me, it showed. And I didn't feel genuine. And I really, really regret that. I want to just be myself. And he's a person, I got to tell you, Pat really was the first person that I met in this world. He was the first person I interviewed on this podcast. He was so gracious, so kind. I learned how to podcast from him. I've followed him since the beginning of his blog, a little after the beginning. It was 2008 that I started following him. And I think 8 or 9. And it just, I put on that star, those rose-colored glasses, and I look at him as a star, and it just trips me up every time, and I'm just not a genuine person when I'm around him, because I'm so affected by him, because he was so instrumental in so many of our lives. I know every person listening to this conversation, to this show, can say that Pat Flynn probably has influenced their lives in one way or another. And in mine, he's influenced it greatly. So I threw away that intention. I did not stay true to that intention, and it was uncomfortable for me. I don't know if it was for him, but it was for me. So that's my third lesson. My third thing I want to impart to you is sometimes, even though you have a great intention, even though you know that true value that you provide to people is always appreciated, there will be those times when you step all over yourself. There will be those times when you just, regurgitate emotion, or, just don't, you're not acting the way is true in your heart. And it's okay. Guess what? Life goes on. Nobody died. Everyone was fine. I don't know how Pat feels about me. I don't think he probably thinks about me at all, to be honest with you. That's the key with a lot of this. Even though this impacted me and my feelings about myself, and I felt awkward, most people really don't. You are not the center of their world. They are. So I guarantee you, I am not the center of Pat Flynn's world. He and his family are. And so he probably didn't give me a second thought after that. So I need to just let it go. And there's my 3 lessons for you. Intentions matter, value is appreciated, and let go of it whenever you put your foot in your mouth or step all over yourself, because you're probably the only one that remembers. Now, obviously I didn't get up on stage and strip and I wasn't drunk, and I didn't get up on stage and strip down to my bra and underwear. So people would probably remember that. I guarantee you they'd remember that. But I didn't do that. I just stepped over a few words. So Mary's here to tell you when that happens, and it will, just let it go. It'll be fine. The 4th thing that I want to leave you with, and I hope you take this to heart. I went to this conference alone. I went without any, I went with meetup plans, but all the meetups were for single people who were attending the conference by themselves, not with a group of people, not with a group of people in their company. I went all by my little lonesome. And there was a purpose to that as well. I mean, I could have tried to arrange with certain people to go and meet them and be with them the whole time. And it did just so happen that wonderful connection that I had made before in the bot world was able to meet me there. And we were able to hook up and be able to attend a lot of the conference together. And that was Dana Tran. And she's just wonderful. If you want to learn how to create these messenger chat bots, there are 2 people I would recommend to you. One is Dana Tran. Her course is launching very soon, and that's for both ManyChat and Chatfuel. And the other is Neil Reichel. Neil is just such a sweetheart, and he and I have been able to connect, and I can't wait to meet him. But he's in the Philippines, so that's gonna be a trip for both of us. So we'll have to see when that happens. But Neil already has a course, and it's a flippin' amazing course. And the reason I know that is because I taught him. I taught him how to do this stuff and helped him grow. I didn't teach him everything, obviously. He had a lot of his own stuff. He came from email marketing, but I taught him how to do chatbots, and he was in a mastermind of mine. Sweet, wonderful, wonderful gentleman, and he and I have been very happily connected for quite a while. So either Dana Tran or Neil Reichel, those are the 2 people that I would recommend. Neil has his course already. Dana's will be launching soon. And as of today, this is March 5th of 2018. So I'm sure later on, if you're listening to this in the archives or a month from now, you'll be able to attend either one of those courses. And the links will also be in the show notes, so you can go to the show notes page, and that will be parententrepreneurssuccess.com/PEP209. So go check out all the links that I'm talking about. But I wanted to get back to why I purposely intended to go alone to this. And the reason is because I couldn't cling to anyone. And because remember, we usually gravitate toward people who are like us. Right? We surround ourselves with people who are like us. I'm a little strange in that way. All the people that I hang out with online are much younger than I am, hence the chatbot mom thing. And they're in much different straits. I mean, none of them have been married 35 years and have 2 teenage sons and have lived in the same house for 20 years and all those things, but we have something in common, but we aren't really alike. And so I love meeting different people who challenge me. And so I specifically went alone, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to grow by meeting those people who challenge me. And I look forward to continuing my journey of growth through life and business in that same way. So I encourage you, if you go to a conference, I would suggest you do not spend all your time with your BFF, right? Don't spend all your time with that one person or that group of people you either attended the conference with or were in your company or anything like that. Be by yourself for some time. Wander the halls, meet new people, and don't surround yourself only with people who are like you. Seek out people who are different from you. Believe me, you will learn a ton more. And I so hope you enjoy the journey. To get powered up for your day, just go to parentepower.com and listen to the over 200 episodes we have so far with amazing entrepreneurs just like you. It might just help you feel like a grown-up again.